Good morning, Denver, once more. Good morning, modern airline retailing enthusiasts. My name is Janine Hoerburger, and I have about 18 years of airline experience within Lufthansa Group, mainly in the area of revenue management, and lately for the last 5 years in distribution. Since about the same 18 years, I'd say I'd foster a very close collaboration and partnership with pros about products, projects, joint initiatives, joint roadmaps. Due to this, and due to the fact that I actually have a very heartful story with this town here, Denver, and the neighborhood, I'm really honored to speak here in front of you today. I was asked to speak about modern airline retailing initially, and to be honest with you, I mean, you know it very well. It's one of the buzzwords or buzz topics of our industry these days, and that would fill days, right? So I actually have decided to just showcase one important aspect of it, and here it is. Direct distribution to meta search, how to achieve modern airline retailing. Before I start walking through the slide deck, let me please allow one remark. So I created that slide deck myself, mainly, and for all the ones who don't know me, I'm a very pragmatic, hands-on person and sometimes slightly impatient, so creating beautiful slides definitely is not amongst my key strengths, so please bear with me. But since the storyline is really worth sharing, I brought these semi-pretty slides along. Let me see. Here it is. So I will start with giving you a high-level insight to our Lufthansa Group strategy, or Lufthansa Group direct distribution strategy. And then I will continue with showcasing the actual implementation or the actual solution, which is shopping solution implementation. Within that showcase, I will first focus a little bit on the past, how the shopping solution landscape looked before we have implemented this neat solution. Then what we have been achieving, what kind of milestones we have achieved throughout the last couple of years, and also allow us a little outlook into the future, where our future challenges, quo vadis with the solution, and of course together with pros. So Lufthansa Group vision is to be the industry leader in modern airline retailing. We want to achieve that by proactively shaping the distribution ecosystem. We want to ensure continuous value creation along the value chain for all our partners. How do we want to do that? We want to offer a reliable, scalable, efficient, end-to-end API. We want to connect all our global partners and customers around the globe. We want to provide customized and dynamic offers in all our purchase points. And we want to have or keep or re-keep a strong focus on servicing orders. Especially that very last point, I think we all have to admit that in the last couple of months that was a little bit neglected within our company, but also maybe within the industry and the standards. So I think it's worth to put an extra focus point on that particular topic. Maybe I just add some keywords here. It's omni-channel servicing or self-servicing capabilities. The values to support our vision and mission are mentioned in the lower middle part. We want to be visionary, we want to be reliable, we want to be customer-centric, knowledgeable, and of course sustainable. We have identified 6 strategic objectives which support Lufthansa Group to successfully transition into this modern airline retailing world. Those pillars are reach, driving NDC adoption with special focus on value-based partnerships. I always look at it as a house of modern airline retailing, and for me, reach is like the roof of the entire house. Second pillar, servicing. I've already mentioned a couple of keywords there. Scalability. We want to improve on our technical, commercial, and procedural capabilities. Change management. It's here all about transparency and collaboration. It's about empowering the people, and it's also about agile, continuous working method and mindset. Offer placement, we want to ensure and enable customized offers. And we also want to ensure its perfect presentation in all the purchase points. Technology, last but not least, when I said earlier that reach is basically the roof of the house, I consider technology to be the foundation of that house, and this is really there to exceed the market expectation. With this slide, I already start diving into the actual showcase of a shopping solution. This picture is extremely pretty, and this really shows a bit how the past looked like in terms of meta-search shopping source landscape. And it really also shows how cumbersome and how fragmented it was for the meta-searchers to shop airline offers. And this picture only shows Lufthansa Group sources. So you can only imagine what it meant for meta-searchers to shop for the entire airline industry. So when we look at the picture here, we have a different coloring, and that even shows more complexity on it, because even within Lufthansa Group, we had different processes and different sources where meta-searcher could shop the individual airlines' offers. So here in the picture, on the front line, we have in the shopping area, we have the meta-searchers and how they are connected or were connected in the past to the different shopping sources. Some of these shopping sources, they were at Lufthansa cost. Some of these sources were at the meta-searcher cost. Some of them had direct availability into our Lufthansa Group availability or even RTDPs. And some had to go the very unperformant way via GDS private link. And even some others, they were doing mainly caching offers out of their organic searches. So that resulted in a lot of drawbacks, obviously, not only for meta-searchers, but also for Lufthansa Group. For meta-searchers, there used to be very high transaction costs depending on the source they have selected. And depending on the availability setup and on the amount of caching, the price and the availability discrepancy were huge. And we have also heard yesterday how important accuracy, how important performance and speed is in this market. And also some of these private links performance were not outstanding. So quite some drawbacks for the meta-searchers. Not only for the meta-searchers, but also for Lufthansa, there were some drawbacks. Since this was such a fragmented landscape and so many different sources, we did not have any offer control at all over the different solutions and offers. We also could see how unhappy and cumbersome it was for our meta-searchers. And of course, we had no chance to place dynamic offers in all these different sources. That's when we decided we have to change something about this. So on the left-hand side, you can see actually the past. You can see the fragmented solution landscape, how it was before. And on the right-hand side, you can see what we aimed for. We aimed for a very streamlined and single solution for the entire Lufthansa Group with a direct connection to all our Lufthansa Group RTDPs, which gave us back the offer control, which allowed us to place dynamic offers. And also, since it always had direct availability and direct access to our RTDPs, we could grant a very high accuracy and hence a very good conversion rate. So this slide shows you a little bit the milestones, what we have already implemented in the past of the last couple of years, also again together with pros, but I'm coming to that in a few seconds. So the ideation about such a solution started in 2019, in July, we placed an RFP in the market and asked for our providers, potential providers, for such a shopping solution. In September 19, PROS was selected as provider for such a solution. In July 20, only a couple of months later, we already went live with Shopping Solution. What does that mean, going live? We had already integrated all the Lufthansa Group hub carriers, and we have connected all our big meta searchers. You may remember 20 was not a very good year. It was the start of the pandemic, but it was really essential that we had done this at that time because of the next milestone, and that took place in October 2020, when we have enabled the entire Shopping Solution and all the integrated carriers for continuous pricing. Why was that so crucial in terms of time? Because as you may remember, when meta-search customers do the shopping on the meta-search pages, they always deep link into our Lufthansa.com page, and therefore we have to do such joint initiatives in order to ensure accuracy over offer and order when they facilitate their orders over the deep linked pages. So we had to do this, and we did it jointly with all our Lufthansa Group.coms, that we enabled continuous pricing throughout our whole direct channels. July 21, we have integrated a leisure airline, a Lufthansa Group leisure airline from Germany. You can see still within pandemic, but also, as you also know, we have seen a very fast recovery from leisure traffic. So I think it makes perfectly sense that we started with further integrations of a leisure carrier, Discover. 2022, we have integrated another big carrier, Brussels Airlines. So Brussels Airlines is nowadays a hub carrier, and we have harmonized all the systems and the solutions underneath, and therefore it just made sense to also integrate Brussels into Shopping Solution. At the very same time, and after looking back, we have realized that we see quite a tremendous growth, being it on the looks, being it on the recovery after the pandemic. So we had to renew, or we wanted to renew the contract with Pros, and we also added some more transactions. So we basically scaled up the solution. So since latest yesterday afternoon, all of you know that Lufthansa Group loves meta searchers, right? We know that a little bit longer already, and of course they are very important partners for us. I cannot really share revenue figures with you, but you can just assume how important they are for us. So whenever it comes to high reach worldwide, they are super important, especially in the markets where we are not really known, where the Lufthansa Group.coms are not really known to the customers. So that is mainly Asia, North Atlantic, or also within Europe, where it's not within our hub countries. We can keep the brand grip. That means whenever they deep link into our .coms, we can keep this grip. And I think the winning pros, or the winning item for our meta search partners, is really the high conversion rates. I think every other channel or every other target group could only dream about such a conversion rate. And that's, of course, what we try to keep up. And we even want to make better with really granting what is very much key, accuracy, performance, and choice. There's also some kind of challenges, let's call them. Meta searches are highly competitive. Meta search customers are extremely price-driven, and there was always a certain limitation for upsells on those pages. I, on purpose, used the past tense, because as we also heard already, and as we have experienced, these times have changed, and there are quite new trends and market behaviors which clearly show demand and willingness to pay for more flexibility, for more service, and for upsells. So I'll come to that point later, because obviously we have already identified this trend, and we will try to tackle it in the next couple of months. So this is a little sneak peek into the current high-level architecture picture. This picture is coming from Pros. So it's basically what we have contracted with Pros, our so-called shopping solution. By the way, we call it shopping solution internally at Lufthansa. There used to be times where they called clone or shopping clone. I don't find it adequate because it's really not, it has nothing to do with, or almost nothing to do with pre-computed or being a clone. So we call it shopping solution. And I think in PROS, it's just called PROS Platform of Travel. And it's basically an aggregation of two PROS products. Here it's called live shopping and pre-computed shopping. I think it's very important that we all understand that the pre-computed part in the pre-computed shopping is really small. And whenever we even have a response from the pre-computed area, it is always real time. So the pre-computation does not have any impact on the availability, on the real-time response of that solution. You can see the aggregator layer. This is really then exposed to our meta search partners, and they can even decide if they want to come in JSON or NDC XML. The entire offer computation is happening within the solution. So basically, you can see on the bottom line, you can see the inputs, such as the flight schedule, the ATP Go fares, and obviously our availability and continuous price input from the Lufthansa Group RTD piece, which is a direct input to that solution. I've already mentioned before, but I can still repeat it. It always answers real time, but it's still very performant because I think that is not, it doesn't need to clash. It can also coexist. Also, it allows additional configuration, what you see on the left-hand side. So we as a project team, we can actually input some kind of configurations, be it itinerary building rules, be it client preferred display rules, or similar items. I think that's enough for a sneak peek. In case you have questions, I'm sure there's a lot of PROS people sitting in here. They are happily and willing to share any more details with you at a later stage. So now we have seen the solution architecture. Let's have a look at the end-to-end process. And this is really the end-to-end process of a meta search offer and order today. And I'll come back to that later. And it also has some limitations, which we will, of course, also tackle in the future. So you can see on the left-hand side, again, the inputs. So we have, again, the schedules, we have the fares, we have the offer inputs. There are the inputs. Offer management needs to do their magic, right? So they compute the offers, the dynamic offers, which then are going to be distributed over offer distribution, which is shopping solution, towards our purchase point. I already start with the first limitation because I think it's very much key. You can see here the icon of a ticket in the area of offer management and offer distribution. And this is actually representing the fact that today we are only computing and distributing the lowest applicable fare per itinerary of requested city pair. And that is something which is contracted, which worked for a long time. But as said, trends and demand has shown that we have to do something about this. But this is really focused with current processes, and I'll come back to the changes and the enhancements at a later stage. So once the offer distribution is being done via PROS shopping solution to our purchase points, to our meta search partners, the customer can then hopefully click on the offer, on the Lufthansa Group offer, and he will be then deep linked into our lufthansagroup.com, which is today possible either via via desktop or via mobile. Another limitation other than the lowest applicable only is the fact that we have not yet integrated all the Lufthansa Group carriers. As you know, as we speak, Lufthansa Group is growing. I just read some news about maybe another brother or sister very soon. So, of course, we will also plan to integrate upcoming new colleagues, so to say. The other limitation I mentioned already, lowest applicable, but also we have a limitation, and that's because of it has a cost tag on the transactions. So we have a contract with PROS, which is based on a volume amount of transactions, which fit to the market needs right now. But when we come to a later stage, what are the future challenges? We will see that it's not enough anymore, and we have to look into more transactions, into new frameworks, how to tackle this challenge. Because of this limitation of throughput or bandwidth, we have connected today all the important meta searchers, but we might want to also connect other partners. And that comes as an immediate result of that limitation. So that's a pretty slide. That's not from me, in case you were wondering. So the pulse of progress, the pulse of our industry, what is cooking, what is going on, what are the targets, what are the trends, what are the facts in our industry, and mainly with the focus on meta searchers. So we have some industry targets, as you know very well, I'm sure. We have targets such as 100% offer and order until 2030. We have other industry targets such as in the area of NDC maturity, which partially has been achieved already. Of course, we have also internal Lufthansa Group targets in the area of NDC share and also in the area of look to books for our NDC partners, and also what we had heard yesterday, not only look to books, but also the so-called look to revenues, which are getting more and more important. So some facts about meta searchers. It's really one of the fastest recovery channel or target group since the pandemic. And we have figures that more than every fifth booking on our .coms is originating from a meta search page. And this figure is rather growing. We have trends in the meta search industry, such as meta search for business or corporate at meta search. There is, what I've already mentioned, quite a demand and a willingness to upsell for more flexibility, for more servicing. There is also a trend for more customized offers, more personalization. And there is a general growth of the entire channel. But it's not only a growth of the meta search channel, but it's also a huge growth of transactions, of shopping transactions, of looks. And this growth is not linear anymore, it's really exponential. And we also have to look into these challenges, how we tackle such exponential shopping transactions in future. And maybe we have already a solution for it. Let's see. And it doesn't come as a surprise, but we have already identified some of these so-called pulse initiatives. And the first one is actually already achieved and implemented. So we have enabled continuous pricing for Brussels Airlines as the last hub carrier 2 weeks ago, approximately. So that now we are kind of done with the continuous pricing implementation for the carriers, for the hub carriers. But of course, there will be lots and lots of more continuous pricing, customized pricing initiatives upcoming, which requires us to react on that. We have a placeholder for further airline integration. So, as I said earlier, lots of new colleagues on board, lots of new brothers and sisters. So that's the placeholder. We also would like to look into how to facilitate calendar search, white search, as maybe a hybrid solution within shopping solution. And now I'm coming to our 2 key priorities for the future. Number 1, enhance shopping, enhance offer portfolio. So as already mentioned several times, it's going to be essential to not only respond with the lowest applicable, but with the right offers and the right amount of offers, with the flexibility and the servicing part needed. Back to our meta searchers. We want to also intensify our strategic partnerships with either existing connected partners or maybe also with new ones. We want to find new framework, technical, commercial, procedural, to exploit new hosting options in maybe client-preferred clouds, in order to upscale the solution. We want to reach new customers, new segments, new partners. As I said earlier, we need to lift or reduce dramatically the shopping volume away from our NDC API. So why not just giving shopping solution to literally any partner who wants to shop extensively? This slide is a bit heavy. So it's again showing the end-to-end process, but this time not how it's in place today, but rather how the vision looks like. It incorporates in yellow, beautiful Lufthansa yellow, the new additional items, steps, which complement Lufthansa Group vision to be fit for the future and future challenges. So the first yellow item is a bit difficult to find. It's just the additional airlines to be integrated on the input side. Again, space holder. And then the offer portfolio enhancement. So you can see all these beautiful yellow icons around flexibility, auxiliaries, servicing, additional offers, upsells. So that is going to be the key priority. You also see a difference in the throughput or in the bandwidth. So we don't want to have limitations anymore on bandwidth due to the envisaged cloud setup and new framework to be found with the partners. And also, we don't want to only give the shopping solution to our meta search partners, but maybe we want to also give it to OTAs, that they can do the looks there. Such new customers or partners or OTAs, they will then be still able to facilitate their orders over the NEC channel. So that means we also get an additional order facilitation flow. So you can still, as a meta search customer, you can remain in your current stream or current flow. You can deep link into our .coms. Or as an OTA, you can start with your initial shopping over shopping solution and then still continue with your offer and order facilitation over the NGC channel. So to summarize, with all these initiatives in mind, we can connect new partners, we can answer better to demand for upsell and customization. We really want to find this sweet spot between the right offer and the right amount of offers. We can lift or reduce looks from the NDC API. Order facilitation can be done on either .com or over the NDC API. That means all in all, we do a very, very big step towards 100% offer and order. Thank you.